Everybody, it's Benny One, and I'm back at you with another WandaVision review, everybody. We have episode 8 of WandaVision already. Jeez. So we got one more episode next week. That's it. 9 episodes. And we have... This week's episode was one of the... I think this is the longest episode we've got so far. It clocked in at like 46 minutes and some seconds. So I think it was about 41 minutes long when the credits started rolling. And there's a post-credit scene once again, everybody. So... this episode picks up right where the last one left off, except for right in the beginning, we get to see kind of the origin of Agatha Harkness, everybody, the actual villain kind of this story that's been going on. We get to see her being strung up because she's a witch, and her sisterhood of witches, including her mother, are actually trying to kill her and defeat her, and she ends up sucking the life force out of all of them, including her mom, which this episode got pretty dark for Marvel MCU stuff. This episode got pretty dark, and I think it's because they're diving into that magic realm of the MCU, which is darker. So, and then it picks up right where we left off in the last episode, where Wanda is down in the basement of Agatha's house, and she revealed herself finally. And then we kind of go on a adventure with Agatha and Wanda, because Wanda takes her down the past, memories of her growing up and everything, and revisiting certain things that we haven't seen in any of the movies, but we kind of know about because of them talking about it, and Wanda sharing things with other cast members and characters like Vision and the other Avengers. But we actually get to see it in this episode, which is cool, because they actually take this episode, which doesn't really totally move the plot forward exactly, but we get a backstory more, like Wanda's backstory is more flushed out, and it was dived into a lot more in this episode, because we get to go back to a spot where she was a child, and her and her brother were young kids, and her parents are watching sitcoms like the Dick Van Dyke Show, which is really cool, because this episode actually showed where Wanda kind of got the idea for the Hex and putting everyone in these sitcom style shows that she has watched through her life. Like, they show her watching the Dick Van Dyke Show in one of these little scenarios that Agatha takes Wanda back through. She's watching the Brady Bunch, and then she's watching Malcolm in the Middle when she's in the Avengers facility when her after Age of Ultron. So that's where she got the whole concept and idea behind the Hex. It's just she's always loved watching sitcoms from the different decades of sitcoms. So that's where that came from. So that was kind of cool how they let us know about that. We also get to see the scene where they're little kids, their apartment gets blown up, and there's a Stark Industries missile, and we knew that was kind of what fueled Wanda at first to join the bad guys in Age of Ultron, was because of Tony Stark. She blamed Tony Stark and was mad at him for what happened to her parents and everything. So that was an important scene for sure. And then the next one we got was probably right before Age of Ultron. We actually get to see Wanda interact with the Loki Pokey Stick and the Vision Stone. It's one of the stones. It's inside of that. We get to see her react with the Mind Stone, and she almost peers it inside of her, or it peers inside of her, one or the other. She's looking inside of the stone, or the stone's looking inside of her. I'm not really sure. But the Scarlet Witch silhouette of what I'm guessing she's going to look like by the end of this show, the full gear and everything with what she's kind of looked like, I don't know if it latched itself to her, or she was seeing a vision of what she might become. I'm not really sure, because that's supposedly where she got her abilities. or they got amplified, one or the other. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to say she's a mutant in the MCU finally, or if they're going to stick with that's how she did end up getting her powers. I don't know. But that was a cool scene. And then we get the scene in the Avengers facility with Vision, which was a cool little scene to see with them. It was a thing we didn't get to see in the movies, so and then basically the episode goes after she goes through these, because Agatha's trying to figure out how she did the whole creating the hex and everything, because Agatha's been a witch for a really long time, since like the Salem witch trial like era, so a long time, and she's never been able to do what Wanda did. And when Agatha puts her through these past vision scenarios and everything, she realizes that she's like, you are dangerous. Like, she flat out tells her, you are dangerous. You are a being that is dangerous. And we finally get to hear her called her comic book name, the Scarlet Witch. Agatha calls her the Scarlet Witch, and she's got the boys like around the neck with her magic, and we get to see Agatha in her comic book accurate costume also in this episode. And yeah, and she calls her the Scarlet Witch, and that's where the episode ends. And then we get our post-credit scene with Tyler, Hayward, and the Sword people, and they're like, okay, we finally found the power source. It was right here with us the whole time, and it was from her. And they power up the Silver Vision, everybody, because we did find out that Wanda did not steal Vision's body. She just recreated him. We get a cool scene where she recreates Vision. She didn't steal Vision's body. There was a scene where they saw her going to the sword facility and seeing his body all ripped apart, and they're like studying it, tearing it apart, and yeah, we get a cool scene with that to kind of flush out everything that happened up to leading to this season starting. That's what I liked about what this episode did is it told us how Wanda got to this point of where the season started in episode 1. That's what I enjoyed about it. But the Hayward thing with the Silver Vision, that's right, everybody. He's powered up. He's back. And that's comic book accurate, too, because there has been a Silver Vision in the comic books before. And that was our end credits scene. And, yeah, wow. I don't know what's going to happen in the last episode. I'm guessing Wanda is going to end up fighting the new Silver Vision that Hayward has powered up and has working for him now. And then we got Agatha going on. I think it's going to get crazy in the last episode. I'm hoping it's almost an hour long. I hope, because it's the last episode. I'm sad it's the last episode because, like I said in the past, this show has turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So, all right, everybody. I'm still enjoying the show. Another good episode. And, yeah, hope you guys like this spoiler-filled review, everybody. And I'll be catching you on Tube Laters because I have spoken.